Okay, so for today we talked about ints, floats, doubles, decimals. We reintroduced booleans and strings. We talked about casting implicit and explicit um, conversions. We talked about the parse methods and the convert methods. And we talked or introduced while loops. And we have a very simple example of some very handy while loops. So yeah, again, I want to, before I say again what the homework is, I want to make everybody very clear that we are using the console and we are writing very simple pieces of software that run in black and white text. It's not very exciting, but if you were to take these concepts and go into something like Unity or a web application or a desktop application, you would be writing the exact same kinds of things. You'd still be writing while loops, you'd still be writing if statements. It's just instead of while money is greater than 0, it might say while your health is greater than 0 or something like that. But the concepts are the same, and I don't want people to get discouraged about the fact that we're in the console. Okay, so homework. I wrote out a very simple program here because I wanted another example of a while loop that wasn't just about validation, and I wanted to make that example available to everybody. However, we have some problems with this code that we've already actually solved in previous bits of this lesson and last week's lesson. First thing is our menu selection uses an int.parse. It does not use a int.tryparse, and if we were to type in text into that selection, we would get an exception. The second problem with this code is going to be a little bit more tricky and is going to have to require people to start thinking about logic in a more abstract way. What I want people to be able to do is I want this program to not allow a person to purchase a Coke, a Mountain Dew, or a Pepsi if they cannot afford it. And I want this while loop to be adjusted to make it so that if they ever become so poor that they can't afford any of the items, that the program will exit. So does that sound good,
Oh yeah,
Jason?
absolutely. That's very easy.
Alrighty. Well, unless you want to add something, like we can throw in. Um, I mean, I'm sure we can
That's
throw in at least a delegate or two.
nice. No, that'll work just fine for now. And I mean, because
Alrighty.
obviously once we get into arrays and all, then we could have, had an inventory where you've got all the stuff that you've purchased in the inventory, and we could have had all sorts of fun. But
Yeah, there's lots of ways that you can expand this program, especially next week when we start talking about fun stuff.
exactly.